Hey y'all, welcome back to Army of Sable. Back at it again with part two. Here we go.
Lying to your wife, like she's like asking if you still desire her, and you're like, of course, baby, but you're lying. Like, and it's not your fault. You're a human. You're like that bear who's standing on his hind legs wearing the tuxedo. You're like trying to be something you're not, and your DNA is fighting against you. So you're like that bear, you're trying to get out of that situation. And we can do better than that as humans, we can do better than that as humans, and I propose like new systems of pair bonding that make more sense. Polygamy makes sense to me, but they're tricky, right? Or like open marriages. At least there's honor in open marriages, right? I would consider an open marriage, like how kings of the past would have a queen as like their main bitch, and then they'll have like side bitches, like concubines. Like that system's happened a lot naturally in human like societies, organically, and there's a reason for that. It's because it makes sense. Like they do that in every culture, Japan does that, China, like
Yo, he is funny. This dude right here is funny.
it's like so formalized. They'll have like apartments for their side bitches, and it's kind of like a Pareto principle kind of thing, because like top dudes will just have multiple women and then everyone else won't get any women. And that was naturally solved in the past because those men would just fight in wars and die off, so there wouldn't be like this uprising of like sexless men who are like salty that like some top dude is like getting all the women. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to like potentially address this, but the whole like monogamy, like traditional marriage thing, it's not it, bro. And yeah, I mean, you just have to remember that we were Homo erectus, right? And then since then, like the human species branched off, like the tree diagram from Homo erectus, it like split off to like Homo sapiens, which is us. There's like Homo Neanderthals, which is like most Europeans are like 2 to 4% Neanderthals. So like Homo sapiens like mixed with Neanderthals, like interspecies like sex and stuff. And it's kind of funny to think about, right? Because they were like pretty different species. They looked different. They were stocky, or they had different brains. And like for your religious friends, you need to ask them, like, do Neanderthals get to go to heaven? Because like, how does that work? They're a different species, kind of, right? And anyways, and there's another one called like Denisovans that were mostly in Southeast Asia. There's like another one called like Homo florensis or something. They were like hobbits. They were like 3 feet tall. And these are humans. Like, do those humans have a soul? Like, there could have been a world. It's fascinating to think about. There could have been a world where all these different humans existed. So you think racism is bad right now because races are subcategories of Homo sapiens, but there could have been different human species, all because at a time they were all coexisting on the earth. There were like hobbit-like humans, and there were like these like stocky ogre-like humans, like the Neanderthals. And I guess that might have been where like Tolkien got his inspiration for Lord of the Rings, because it makes a lot of sense, right? It's very similar. And I'm sure they had their own like characteristics and like predilections and such. But yeah, like Southeast Asians are like 2 to 4% Denisovan, and some of them are like that Florence CS one, and it's mostly the sapiens that survived. But from that point on, human beings have been monogamous. They have not been monogamous for like a million years. So like with water dripping on a rock and slowly shaping it, that's how the human brain evolves over a million years, and we have evolved to like variety and to have multiple sexual partners. So
I have to stop you there. No. Man and woman and marriage has been since the beginning of time. If you want variety, you want variety. I think he's at least being honest with himself. Like, he doesn't want to get married for the simple fact that he wants to continue to sleep with as many partners as possible. Hey, do your thing, bro. But hopefully you'll find a woman that's on the same wave as you are, because if not, you're going to end up sticking with one partner anyway when you get really old and need somebody to take care of you. Or you going to pick your favorite eater. Ooh, let me not say that. you're gonna pick your favorite and y'all just gonna cohabitate with each other. It's like it's almost inevitable unless like you're just uber wealthy. And that's another thing, having multiple B's, like he said, like kings, keyword kings, having multiple women is a rich man sport. Like, please don't argue with me, argue with your mama and your baby mama.
Like the idea that we're gonna suddenly, in like the last 200 years, adapt to monogamy is just preposterous, dude. And yeah, it saddens me to see all these people just like sheep, just like, oh yeah, in 1840, like Princess Victoria wore a white wedding dress, and that's what we do now. And yeah, we have to get a diamond ring because the Beers Corporation said a diamond's forever. And bro, think for yourself, man. Like, yeah, monogamy is not it, man. So yeah, I believe that human pair bonding is optimal in bursts. So I talk about it in my first video, but I shaped the human pair bonding experience as like you know, like a kind of like a parabola, you know, and you know, it goes up, that's the honeymoon phase, and then it flattens at the top when you're content with each other, and then you kind of slowly get over each other. You know, you get bored of the sex, you kind of get tired of each other's like habits and flaws, and then it slowly starts going down, and then you know, you kind of feel like you're swimming upstream, and that's when it's time to just end it. And
I think he's generalizing way too much here, to be honest, because people find ways to fall in love with each other over again. Like, especially like when two people are together and you help one person get through a really difficult time, like the passing of a family member or something like that, that makes them grow further in love. Or when you have two people that are together and they reach new highs in their life, like they reach new milestones, new tax brackets, things like that, they fall more in love with each other. Just some people having a baby makes them fall more in love with their partner and become more sexually attracted to their partner. So I think he's generalizing way too much here, but I refuse to believe that's the case. And I know some men are probably going to be like, nah, he right. But again, that's why you need a man with honor that is not going to bend to the wiles of women, but also to just every lustful desire. Because believe it or not, men, women have desires too. You don't think we get bored? You don't think that we may want to try something new? You know what I mean? We do too, but watch yourself.
that's the most natural way for humans to pair bond, in my opinion. You don't have to go to therapists. You don't have to like find inventive ways to try to like, you know, spice up the bedroom. Like, bro, if you have to do those things, it's over. You don't have to spice up the bedroom with your hot new secretary at your job. Like, so do what's natural for your instinct. And you know, we need to find a better system of pair bonding and kind of structuring societies so that we don't have this, like, you know, so we're not all bears wearing tuxedos standing on our hind legs listening to like the ringmaster of the circus. Like in this case, like the ringmaster being like, you know, modern Western culture and feminism and all that. Like, you know, there are better ways to do this. And yeah, you know, I propose like open marriages or like some form of polygamy, or more like communal systems where we like raise kids communally, things like that. You know, that's what we did as hunter-gatherers, and you know, we did that for hundreds of thousands of years. So it's in our bones, it's in our DNA, and we would be good at it. And and the reasons and the incentives to have monogamy have expired now. So we need to adapt with that, you know, and not just like carry over these traditions because we're too scared to like try something new. Yeah, all right. Well, that's the video. If you disagree, please let me know in the comments. And
this was an excellent video. It's very thought-provoking. I really appreciate this. I think he's incredibly funny and smart, and he made a lot of decent points, a lot of great points. I can't say that I fully disagree with a lot of what he's saying, especially like when it comes to continuing to stay sexually attracted to your partner. I think dude would benefit from finding like the love of his life that he wants to continue to love, that he is so enamored with, that he will continue to desire that woman for years on top of years. Like, I know it sounds crazy, y'all, but it's absolutely possible. I mean, I was the type of person, I thought that maybe the idea of loving someone more than a year or two was child's play, but it's not. So yeah, once he finds that shorty, that special shorty for him, his opinion would change. He just hasn't found it yet. Y'all go out there and find y'all one. Start you a family, man, and keep that family unit tight. I believe you'll have great joy and great satisfaction in that. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this part 2, definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I really like this guy. Again, this is Lit Nomad. Just some of the comments. So, I like this one. The 50% divorce rate statistic is incredibly misleading and nobody talks about this. Yes, 50% of marriages end in divorce. This is including the people who divorce several times, which skew that stat. Less than 5%, because people who divorce once are incredibly likely to do it many more times. 60% divorce rate for second marriages, 70% for thirds, etc. So basically it's like the same people just being a continuous offender, basically. That's a really good stat. I would definitely have to do some research. I implore you to do your own research, but that's a really great comment. I like that. Somebody said 15 years ago being single was often stigmatized. Absolutely. I mentioned that in the first video, part 1, so go ahead and check that out too. Another commenter said, hey, shout out, love your talks, always watch you during my breaks. Yes, continue making people think. Seriously though, that's why I really enjoy content like this. It's super thought-provoking. You're definitely going to want to have a meeting of the minds and talk about this. So somebody said better to live happy and die alone than to marry and live miserably and live in misery and still die alone. Good point. But yeah, I really like him. Check him out, guys. Lit Nomad. I implore you to comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.